Hey everybody, it's Max McAllister here today, and we're going to do our how-to install video for our new ReCabulation kit. So I introduced this a few weeks back, and people have already bought it, but I haven't had a chance to get a bike to install one on. Today we've got one here. So for those who didn't see what the video is when we introduced it, I've come up with a way of redoing the cabling system for the glove box, the side door, and sort of the fuel door, to make them so that they're all mechanical and there's nothing electronic involved, and to prevent the failures and make the latches work better than they did as delivered from Honda. And so for the glove box door, we're going to supply you with a new cable that will show you how to install. We're going to defeat the push button on top of the glove box that's so finicky, that gives people so much trouble. And then what you'll have is, I call it hiding in plain sight, releases for the box. So hiding down here on the engine is going to be the one for the glove box. Just a little cable you can grab and pull, and your glove box will open. You can do that while you're riding if you wanted to. For some reason, it's not actually hard to reach. On the other side of the bike, what we've done, doesn't happen all the time, but it happens frequently enough that it's a problem. This fuel door mechanical latch will fail, and you'll be out of gas, pull up to a gas station, try to put fuel in your bike, push this button, and nothing will happen. We have for years been supplying people with a little plug, and I had a trick where you drill a hole through this lid, put a plug in it, and if you ever had to get into it, you pop the plug out, poke a stick or a pin or whatever through it, and you can get to the fuel door button and open your fuel door, even though this door won't open. So that's all because they have, you know, a servo-controlled motor pulling a cable on a wire on a micro switch, all this stuff just to open this stupid door. So we're going to go around all that. The fuel door button and latch are cable operated from Honda, although the button is hidden, as you know. So we're going to take the cable that goes up to the electronic servo motor. We're going to just disconnect it from the servo motor and leave that all intact, doing nothing. So you'll hear this button cycling, but it's not going to do anything. Then we route that cable down here. We supply you with a nice bracket on each side of the engine. And again, it's hiding in plain sight. You'll pull that cable, the fuel door opens. Now I can, or the side glove box opens, and I can get to my fuel door if I want, and push that button. So at this point, everything's mechanical. Nothing possible to fail, theoretically, we hope. So as far as the installation goes, I've got things laid out here. We're going to assume that you know how to get to the point of taking your shelter off. So there's lots of videos and how to, and various steps and stages on my channel or other people's channels as to how to get the shelter off. But so you're going to need to get the shelter off, lay it upside down on a workbench on a towel or a blanket or whatever. And then from here is where we're going to kind of show you what you need to do for the install. So we'll start in here. You'll need a heat gun. A hairdryer might work, I suppose. Even worse, if you had a little micro torch or something, I wouldn't really, but heat gun's really the ticket, and they're only $25 or $30 these days. It's a very useful tool if you don't have one. On this shelter, all we're going to do to prepare this is the cable to the side door. We're just doing some stuff on it to make it cosmetically pretty. We supply you with a piece of heat shrink tubing that's to cover this plastic portion of the cable that would be visible in white. We want to hide that and make it black so nobody notices it. And then also a little piece over the ball on the end to make it less noticeable. So you're just going to kind of hold that up, measure it, and cut this with a pair of scissors. This fits very tightly over the cable, so just take your time and wiggle it over. And you want to pull it past this portion, which is going to slip into our little bracket. So you're really just trying to hide this portion here. And then we'll heat shrink this. Hopefully this goes quick. While that warms up a little, I think I'm going to... This piece, you're just going to slip over the little ball. And that's going to kind of become a nice little handle. And I don't edit my videos and all that, so sorry if it's a nuisance. You're gonna have to sit here and watch this, but I'm not a professional. I just play one on TV. And that's all we're gonna do to prep this section. That's ready to go. This white piece that you see there will be hidden in our bracket, and it will not be visible. So that's that. So that's prepped, and all there is to that section. So we're gonna go back out here. And the aforementioned bracket I'm talking about are these brackets here that we'll supply you with, and so that portion of the ferrule is going to go into the bracket. You won't see it, right? So that's why we're just trying to dress that up. So you have 3 of these brackets. They're all identical except one has 3M automotive adhesive on it. You're going to take and install the 2 brackets on the engine. So there's 1 bolt on each side. It's got an 8mm head. Oh boy, that one was loose. We'll check these for our customer here. So you're going to pull this bolt out. We supply you with a new bolt that's longer. It is black stainless steel, so actually even better than the Honda bolt. You're just going to keep that to the side. Put this through. The bolt we supply you with has a 10mm head, so you'll need that socket in its place. Put that back. So you'll have one of these on each side of the engine. I'm not going to demonstrate this twice. Line that up real nice and perpendicular to your valve cover and tighten it down. There you go. All right. Like I said, the other piece is for the other side of the engine. I'm not going to demonstrate that. We are going to need to defeat the push button on the glove box, and we supply you with a spacer to do that. And Jake, our cameraman, is actually got his own tricks. What do you do with the spring, Jake? You leave it in? Move it over, right? So it's still there if you ever want to put it back for some reason and make the button work. So this step is no reason. This is optional. You could leave the button intact. The reason we do this is to make it like there's a lock on it. And that's actually the goal. So that if someone comes up and pushes on the button and wants to steal your cell phone, they're going to push on the button and nothing happens. So that's the reason we're doing this. This is going to go. Were you putting that on that side, Jake? Yeah. Just put the spring over the other post, and then you'll see this collar spacer. We're going to put that in the middle, and that's going to lock out the button from working. Actually, it's got a little step in it. I think I put it on upside down, huh? Yeah, there's a little step in it. You see the step in the collar? You want that facing down into the pocket because it sits over a little boss in the pocket. So if you make that mistake, you'll be just like I did, and you'll see it doesn't line up or look right. So when you put it in, it's going to look flush like it came from Honda, except it just won't work anymore. I haven't done this. It's a great idea to put a towel over all of this stuff. These screws are small and the springs are fiddly. And so if you are not extremely dexterous and drop something, and even if you are dexterous, you can drop something. Goldwings are famous for ingesting huge amounts of hardware that's never seen again. So don't be like me and put something here to catch these things in case you drop them. All right, so button is defeated. Doesn't do anything now. All right, so where we're going to put our cable holder is up here on the glove box on this flat, the angled flat, not this face here, this angled face here. You know, depending on how you ride and where you ride and when you ride, this is going to be very dirty. So you want to make sure you clean it. This customer was riding in the rain for the past 2 days. So this is really dirty right here. We got to get all that off before we're going to try and stick something to it. Now, just like with our tip over protection kit, we're going to use some 3M Primer 94 on that area right there to really make sure that this automotive adhesive grabs or holds tightly. This is just like in our tip over protection kit, the exact same thing. You're going to break this. You'll hear the glass in it break. There's a glass ampule in it. And when you do that, turn it down, you'll see the liquid ooze down onto the felt. It's ready to go. We're just going to rub this all over this area right here where we want to stick down our bracket. You know, I'm going way wider than I need to just because I got the stuff. All right, so that's ready to go. Now we're going to route the cable, the new cable we supply you with, into place. This curved end is going to go down because eventually it's just going to end up in this socket here, like that. It's just going to end up there when you do your final assembly. So, but first we're going to route it into place. I'm going to show you, there's a little tunnel that practically lights up in the bike. Right through here. So we're going to stick the straight end of the cable right into that lighted tunnel. And it will come out. You hold that 1 second while I pop up there. It's going to come out right up in the steering area here. Wiggle it. And you just grab it. All right, so there's the cable in place now. And I might actually just kind of leave this here for a minute. I can get this to behave in some way, give us some light. All right, now we got to get this barrel of the cable into the latch on the factory latch. Now Honda has this latch already on the Goldwing, so they clearly had some intention of having some sort of cable or automated lock on it at some point, because the parts are there. So are these similar parts to the ones on another latch? Yeah, it may just be they used redundant parts. So you're going to need a stubby number 2 Phillips, and you're going to take the screw on this side where the cable goes, and we're going to loosen the screw a little bit. So a turn or a turn and a half will be sufficient. You just want to get this to where it'll rattle. What you don't want, and I'm already making a mistake again, the little spring that holds the latch together. Take a photograph of that if you're not familiar with it. There's a little spring in there, but on the 2 sides of the latch. And in case it should happen to bail off, you'll have a photo of how it goes. But just don't loosen it much and you won't have any trouble. But here's our spring catcher 9000. Now, you'll just want a kind of a small to medium sized flat blade screwdriver. This is the fiddly part of this installation. Excuse me. And so the cable comes in from behind the latch. So you're going to come behind it. And if it won't go in easily, you might just throw another half a turn on your latch to loosen it up a little more. But it should come in behind it. Of course, it's not going to do that because I'm doing a video right now. Sorry, like I said, this part is fiddly. All right, so I'm behind it now. The slot is over here, kind of horizontal. But to get the head of it to go in, you might hop up here with the camera if you want. To hop this hole down in here, we're going to get behind that barrel and just help spoon it into that slot. Did you see how I did that? So see, it's horizontal, the cable's coming out. Before you let go of the screwdriver, push it down to 6 o'clock, okay? Hold it there and just retighten the head of your Phillips screw. Now this is a little Phillips screw in plastic. There's no need to grunt, groan, have veins popping out. Don't wail on this little screw. There's just no point in that. All right. Excuse me. So now our cable's in place. Now we have to install our bracket. And I need this. We supply you with a little zip tie. A zip tie is just double security. We're going to push this through from the top till it gets all the way in. Pull it back up through the other side. And that's kind of ready to go. Peel the tape off. Actually, before I peel this tape off, I want to show you. In here, we're going to stick it to this wall, remember, right against the crack. And there's a little plastic boss right here. Hopefully that shows up on the video camera. Can you see that, Jake?
Yeah.
Okay. We're going to push the head of it up against this boss, and that's what locates it. It really doesn't have much throw. And you're going to think, well, that doesn't look very good. It only takes the tiniest tug to get that latch to release. Almost nothing. So these, again, sorry, we're not editing. You get to watch what a pain in the butt it is to get the adhesive started. Razor blades are helpful. Also helpful to have a cameraman who knows where the razor blade is. So I'm going to reiterate. We're going to take your bracket, pre-start the adhesive tape, leave your zip tie up, half an inch on one end to make it easier to start. We're going to put it on upside down with the protector still on the adhesive. So this lets it easy for us to start the cable. You just want it started. Don't pull it tight. We're going to do that last. Now we're ready to stick the adhesive. The trick to this bracket is in the glove box, there's a crease. Part that faces forward and a part that it goes away. There's a crease right there. I'm going to highlight this with a screwdriver. You really have to get the head of the block to touch the crease and then tip the tail away. And I'm going to demonstrate all this, but the key element here, you stick it out here, the cable can drag and it'll be nuisance. You want to make sure that you get the head of the cable block tight into that crease. So when you go to stick the part, keep the tail away, put the head up in there until you feel it touch the crease, and then you can lay it down and stick it. So here, we're going to do that now. Pull the adhesive. Can you see this is the crease? Can you see that on the camera? That's the crease. We want to make sure we get the head in there, and then we're going to angle it away. So now I'm going to do it. So we're going to roll this around. Getting ready to go hot here. Don't forget, we're trying to get up close to this post here. It's actually helpful to close the lid for this because then the latch is in the up position. There's our dowel. We're going to put this into that crease, this head into that crease, and then tip the tail away a little bit. So I'm sure that I'm there. I can feel it. Now I'm going to push this down. And what we're looking for in here is that cable is not really touching the bracket anywhere. That gives us so it doesn't drag any. All right, we're going to test this a bunch of times. All right, confident in this now. Now we'll pull our cable tight. Actually, if you're having any trouble, this cable does need to be kind of pulled. Now look, I don't have it squished down to the bracket. I just have it pulled straight into line. If that makes any sense? I just want it in a nice straight line going into the housing, into the bracket. I don't need it, don't have to bind it, pulling it down there. That makes sense, hopefully. So don't cinch it all the way. Don't be a brute with it. All right. So now that's done. Oh, and it does help also just so your cable's oriented nice. go ahead and put it into the bracket before you stick your bracket down. And that's no harder than just sliding it into the to its slot there. All right. So it'll fit kind of tight, but that'll go in there, and that's all there is to it. So if you ever service any engine or pulling covers off or anything, there's nothing to this. No science. So then when you put the bike back together, so this side is done and ready to go, the glove box. Again, that button's optional, but the intention is, I'm a bad guy. I come up to steal your camera, and I know that people keep their cameras and wallets in here. I push on this, nothing happens. So this is replacing our glove box lock. We're not selling that anymore. So this is just a better way to do it all the way around. So, all right. And as far as routing, you know, the cable will just lay right here behind your parking brake. And head up to that hole. So, all right. And then on the other side, once you put your shelter back on, that cable's all prepped and laying there. You'll have your bracket installed, same thing. You'll just slide it in and off you go. You're done. And then your bike will have been recabulated. So I'm going to go see if I can put this massacred installation video together into one mess, and hopefully it's presentable. So thanks for watching. And thanks for ordering the kit, all those people who've already got it, and hopefully this helps you get it installed properly and looking good and working nice. Please give this video a thumbs up, and I'll be back with more great content soon.